Jiu-jitsu is a lifestyle. If you really live, if you really give yourself into jiu-jitsu, if you really let the art have you, that as I say to people, like train as if, live as if, jiu-jitsu is a lifestyle because you go to bed thinking about it. You know, during the day you're thinking about it. You get more sleep at night because the next day you want to do better practice. And it's a lifestyle as well. People, well, we call it a sport because there's points scored. Since there are points scored in competitions, it's a sport. But it's a lifestyle. Jiu-jitsu is the only martial art, the only one in the world that has no end. It's infinite. And it never stops giving to you. Jiu-jitsu will never break your heart. Jiu-jitsu will never leave you. You can leave jiu-jitsu, but jiu-jitsu will never leave you. So every time you step into the mat, I tell my students, it's not about winning or losing. If you win all the time, you should look to train at a different school. You know, it's about, in jiu-jitsu, you either learn or you win. You win or you learn, you don't lose. Because the ideal is, I always tell this, if you come to class, in a way, you should leave happier than when you walked in. If you come here and you do jiu-jitsu class, even if you lose every single round, jiu-jitsu should give you some sort of joy and a bliss that you cannot feel anywhere else. It should leave, when you leave, you're happier than when you come in. If you leave happy than you walked in, then jiu-jitsu is for you. If you're walking in moaning and upset because you lost a round to a belt that's lower than you guy, and you're a blue belt and you lost your white belt around, if you leave upset and you came in happy, then you should evaluate it. Maybe jiu-jitsu is not for you. You know, jiu-jitsu, what jiu-jitsu is therapy without actually having to talk to a shrink. It makes you, it gets rid of anxiety. You know, it puts you in shape. It puts your mind in a better place. It gives you a different type of view in life. You view things differently when you do jiu-jitsu because your mind is so open to everything. So, like I said, personally, it changed my mind. It changed my life completely from the beginning. When I quit all sports and I played varsity back in Brazil, I was 15 years old. I did jiu-jitsu one time. One time I was forced to go by one of my best friends. And the next day I quit everything. My coaches were going crazy. They were calling my parents. It just took me from the inside out. I was consumed by it. I was obsessed with it. And I trained 2 times a day, every day for the first year. And I had private lessons every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday with my sensei. That's how much I loved it. And I still love it. As soon as I retired from MMA, I drove right back into jiu-jitsu with the gi. That's all I want to do is the gi, the gi, the gi. And the more I do, the more I want to learn. The more I want to teach. I love passing, but I want to learn as well. It's infinite. It can't stop. I love Muay Thai. I love boxing. I love martial arts in general, karate, everything. But all of them have an end. There's only so many combinations that you can do with the art of 8 limbs. Despite of the amazing art that Muay Thai is and all the great, amazing Muay Thai fighters that are out there, there is an end. There's just so many numbers of combinations that you can throw. Despite of creativity and everything else. Boxing, only 2 hands. Judo, the sport of judo is beautiful and it's amazing to watch, but it's inside, all of it is an inside of the spectrum of jiu-jitsu. Everything that's allowed in judo, it's allowed in jiu-jitsu. It just keeps on going and continues. The more you do, the more you want to learn. The more you do, the more you want to learn. And there's no such a thing as nobody in this world, not the Gracies, not Hickson, not Henzo, not Carlson Gracie, no one has really, nobody knows everything. The moment that you think that you know everything in jiu-jitsu, that's when you get passed by everyone else. You always have to be a coach, a student at the same time. If you're a black belt, you have to be a teacher. You're always a teacher, but you always have to be a student of the art. Because the moment that you stop learning, you get passed by everybody. The reason that a lot of jiu-jitsu techniques don't have names, do you know why? It's because they keep evolving. They keep changing every time. You know, there's a long phase of the deep half guard. Everybody was playing deep half guard. Then it got shut down. Then there was the 50-50, which I absolutely, personally, I despise it. I think it was counterproductive to fighting. It doesn't make any sense in my mind. But there was a phase of the 50-50, everybody goes. And then there was the Beribolo. And then it always is a wheel, it turns back to the same. It goes back to the same, the basics. The basic wins fights, the good posture, the good guard passing, they show the pressure, you know, they're playing low, they're not giving any space, they're keeping their opponent always uncomfortable. And there's always ways of doing this in jiu-jitsu in many different. I can go right now and to France, to Paris even, and learn a technique from a blue belt that I've never seen before. If you're open-minded about it, I can love the technique so much that would change my entire game because I have to study and make myself get to a position to be able to apply the technique. So never stop. Nobody, the title of master, professor, and grandmaster even is given to the people that have um, dedicated their lives to the sport. They have put in the time to create many black belts, to expand the art of jiu-jitsu around the world, but they don't know everything. Nobody can ever know everything to an art that is endless. How can you know? You can never say, I know every technique, I know everything. You can't, because tomorrow somebody will create something different. Tomorrow somebody will create a variation of something that already is a variation of something, a variation of something else. I tell Jiu-Jitsu, when I taught today, for example, here, I spent 10 days here teaching the lasso series. Well, I can teach lasso series or the lasso guard for 3 months straight. And for 3 months straight, it's just a variation of a little branch, of another branch, of another branch, of a big tree that Jiu-Jitsu is. It's an endless branches. And if I can spend 3 months only teaching the lasso series guard, imagine if you go into back attacks, into guard passing, into defense, into attacks from the side control, in all of that stuff. So I'm always learning. I'm always open to learning. And that mentality of being open to learn things changed my life for the better. Because people usually are, arrogant. They think they think so highly of themselves. They think they master something. They think they become a black belt and they stop because now they can just teach. That is the wrong mentality for jiu-jitsu. You're always going to be a student. You're going to learn as a white belt, and you're going to start as a white belt. And I tell my students this all the time. When you get your black belt, that's when you start to understand what really jiu-jitsu is all about. That's really when it sinks in, so you can understand what really is the art all about. You can't really think that you know it all. I can learn a technique. My wrestlers teach me techniques that applies to jiu-jitsu and make my jiu-jitsu better. Counter to takedowns, counter to sweeps. So wrestling plays along with jiu-jitsu as well. So if you don't have that open mind and humble to learn from everybody that you can. Every black belt that comes in town or comes to my school, I ask, if they do something, I ask him to teach something. Teach me something. You don't ever play. Black belts don't pay to train with me or to train any of my academies. All I want is to learn something that I don't know from them, so I can keep adding to my repertoire, keep adding to my arsenal. You can never learn enough, and they do it for free. Jiu-jitsu, it comes to you, from everybody, from camaraderie, from friends, for free. It never stops giving you something if you're willing to learn. People that live with a closed fist, it's the same analogy. People that live with a closed fist, it's great because they can keep what's theirs. Nobody's going to take what's theirs, and they can keep it forever. It's fine, but you're only going to have what's inside your hand. And you can be selfish. I think there's a selfish way of living. I like to give. I like to teach. I live with an open hand. It's okay. People can take what's mine, but at the same time, my hand is open. That means I can receive. I live with an open hand. I don't choose to live with a closed fist. Because with an open hand, they can take all of what's mine. Everybody can take what's mine. My job as a professor is to create students that are better than me. If I don't create students that are better than me and project black belts that are better than myself, I'm a mediocre professor. I'm a mediocre teacher. And I have plenty of guys that I have developed. They are better than me in competition. And I'm proud of them. If they get into tap me, if we roll and I get tapped, yeah, I'm going to come after you with everything I have. But I'm proud of you for doing that. So there's two ways of living life, There's a closed fist way, that's your selfish way, that you're going to keep what's yours. So be it. That's your choice. But there's also a way to live with an open hand. They can take everything that's mine, but also my hand is open to receive. And I choose that way because I'm continuing to grow my journey, live my journey of jiu-jitsu as a student. I always say I'm a jiu-jitsu professor. Yes, I've been a black belt for 13 years, but I'm always learning. My black belts teach me things when I come here that they learn from different black belts, Tomorrow, for example, before I leave, I'm having a private with my coach, my black belt, my own black belt, Eric Ramsey. They went to a seminar. They learned a series from Professor Daniel Tavares that I haven't seen before from X-Guard. I'm not going to leave without having to learn all those. So before I leave, I'm going to spend hours, a couple hours at least, studying the techniques that I have never seen before. So I can feel fulfilled. It fulfills you. It gives you, like I said, it gives you joy, and it stimulates your brain. It's better for everything. It keeps you calm. It gets rid of anxiety. I always go home happy that I change people's lives for the better. I think my job here really is, I've always been a better coach than a fighter. So my job is to change people's lives for the better using the gateway of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu martial arts. And I've seen it happen. There's no money can buy the joy of a professor that sees, a student that comes here with low self-esteem, or a person is overweight, doesn't believe in himself, they cannot even shrimp or do a forward roll, a backward roll, but has no friends, has social issues, cannot really make friends or anything. In 6 months down the road, a year down the road, it all depends. The jiu-jitsu people, the class becomes their family. He has friends and he's winning tournaments, getting gold medal in tournaments. They lose weight, they get confident, they become confident people. All jiu-jitsu gives you all of that. So how can you not love something like this? How can you get sick of something like this? Is it easy? Absolutely not. If jiu-jitsu was easy, everybody would be a black belt. That's not easy. But nothing that's easy and nothing that's free is worth having. Nothing that's free and nothing that's easy is worth having. We need to work hard and it'll pay us back tenfold. And that's what jiu-jitsu is. It's a lifestyle. If you really give yourself into the lifestyle, it fulfills my life every day with so much joy. Changing my life to, I don't know what I'll be doing. I don't know what kind of person I would be. I don't know what I'll be doing nowadays if it wasn't for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And I, of course, have to thank, my sensei, Mestre Sazinho in Fortaleza for always being a father figure to me. Professor Marcos Aurelio, which is awarded my black belt. It's been a good friend since I was very young. And, of course, my real life hero, the person that changed my life, that convinced my parents to support me. That with one conversation, for years I told my parents, I want to do a fight, I want to do jiu-jitsu, and they would never understand. He sat with my parents for 40 minutes, and when he come home in New York City, my father looked at me and goes, what do you need to be good at this? How can I support you? And I would never be able to thank this man enough, and that's Renzo Gracie. He is my real life hero, and that man has changed so many people's lives. He has to live a happy life. No wonder why he's always smiling. Look how he is. He changes everybody's lives for the better. He asks for nothing in return. Because he's fulfilled, because Jiu-Jitsu has given so much to him, all he does is give it to other people and motivate other people. So, yes, I want to live the life that I saw how happy Renzo is with his life, just living the life of a Jiu-Jitsu man. And I'll live the exact same life. 13 years down the road after black belt, I still wake up every day. Every day I wake up with this smile on my face because I have Jiu-Jitsu. And I have a school, and I have many, many schools and many students that believe in me, love me, believe in my teachings, and believe in my principle, my methods of teaching Jiu-Jitsu, and they become my family. I have a humongous family all around the world. I have families in Brazil, I have 13 schools in the US, I have now this in Dubai, and I travel the world doing what I love for a living. How blessed am I? What else can I ask for? Jiu-Jitsu has given me all of that. I have a lot of success doing what I love for a living. And how many people can say that they do what they love for a living? Not very many. I consider myself a very, very blessed person.